Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to root a wig. Alright, so I want to come on here today and I wanted to show you guys how to root a wig, and in particular how to root a wig in a more natural way. What I mean by that is I do have an older rooting video. If you want to check it out, I'll link it right here for you, but it's a much heavier, darker, more bold root. And I really wanted to show you guys today how you can do a more subtle, more natural root to a synthetic wig. All right, so there's a couple things you're going to need to do this tutorial with me. One of those is the Loreal Magic Root Cover-Up Root Spray, or any other root spray that you like out there. There's a couple different brands that I've tried. Amazon has quite a few pop up all the time. This L'Oreal one, I just know I've used multiple times. I've used all the colors. You can get it at Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, whatever you've got around you. So this is just my recommendation, but like I said, I've tried other ones, so whatever you want to use, go right ahead. I am going to be doing the light golden brown shade. I would do for a more subtle root, either the light golden brown or one of the blondes. The colors that they kind of tell you these are pretty deceiving. They are much darker than you would think a light brown would be or a warm blonde would be. So just keep that in mind when you're buying it. So I will always go a little shade lighter than you think you need because they are a little bit darker. So we're going to be doing the light golden brown with this. Another thing you're going to want is you're going to want to go ahead and have some type of comb that you can really kind of brush through the rooting of the wig. These kind of like rat tail combs are really great because you can also section off the hair and things like that. So this is my recommendation, but any type of comb that you have that you can brush through the wig when you're done is really all you need. And then a couple other items that they're optional items would be some concealer and then a little makeup brush, particularly on this one that I'm going to be doing it on because it is a hard front wig, so it does have that rubberized scalp. So I might accidentally have some mess ups and have some of that brown kind of in that scalp area, and I'm going to want to make my part again. And you also might get your knots on your lace front wigs kind of darker as well. So you just want to have some concealer on hand so you can fix that part up when you're finished. All right, so now that you guys know what you need, we're going to go ahead and get nice up and close with this wig, and I'm going to show you guys step by step how to do this. All right, so here we have this wig. It has a lot of really beautiful dimension, but it doesn't have any rooting. And it also, like I said, is a pretty drastic hard front. You can see that right here. I'm going to be doing some other things to this wig to make her look a little bit more natural. But the first step is going to be rooting her. I don't want to do any crazy dark rooting. I wanted to keep it a little bit more natural and subtle. So I'm going to go ahead and be taking this. There we go. This is a lot harder than it looks. This light golden brown magic root cover up by L'Oreal Paris. Like I said, you can get this at any drugstore, grocery store, wherever they sell hair care products. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this and I'm gonna be spraying this relatively far away because I want it to be nice and light. So I'm gonna go ahead and start right here. I'll do it on this side first. And I'm gonna start about, I would say about 6 inches away from the hair. And I'm going to go in kind of, you guys are going to not really be able to see my hand very well, but I'm going to be going in like a sweeping motion like this with a little bit of a flick of my wrist when I'm doing it. It's like a dusting. It sounds really weird, but it's like a dusting. All right, and then once we have just a nice little coating, nothing crazy, I'm also gonna hit back here in the crown area a little bit more because usually your rooting comes back a little bit further in this crown area. All right, and then the next thing I wanna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take that comb that I was talking about here, and I'm gonna brush through this really nicely. I wanna kind of brush through this before it starts to dry so that it doesn't have that weird like hairspray feeling, because this stuff does tend to dry in kind of a weird hairspray way if you don't brush it out. So I just take my hands and I'm just going to kind of brush it out. The other nice thing about doing this too is it helps kind of blend this in, and we can really see where we still need to get some more of this spray to give this a little bit of a better root as well. So I always recommend just doing this kind of one layer at a time, hitting it, brushing it, and then going back and hitting it again, because you can always add more, but you don't want to like add too much at first and then have to fix it. So we definitely need some more back here. I can see that, but it is blending really nicely in. This color is going to be really, really pretty when we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and do this again. If you feel like you're too far away and that's why you're not getting enough concentration, you can always come in a little bit closer. I tend to like to come in a little closer towards the part, and then I'll like pull it out further as I spray down so that it kind of gradually gets lighter. But it really depends on how you want your rooting to look. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and brush this through again. Now that we're getting pretty much to where the color that I really wanted. So this is great. And I also like that the blonde is still kind of peeking through here a little bit. So I'm definitely not gonna spray underneath it. You do, if you want to, you can now, up to you, take your rat tail comb and section this up, and then go ahead and flip it and spray this next track underneath to get an even better, darker, more defined root. This is really kind of where I would say do the next layer, maybe even the 2 layers. But here, I really like that that blonde is peeking through underneath on that second layer. So I don't think I'm gonna do that with this one. But this is totally like personal preference on what you're wanting. So once you comb this through and you feel like you're good now, oh, I really love her. Oh my God. Okay, the last thing that we want to do when we root a wig, and this is something that I think sometimes we forget about, but if we're running our hands through our wig and we go like this and you didn't root any of this here, no matter if this is a hard front, lace front, whatever, you're running your hand through it or you tuck it behind your ear, there's no rooting here, it's gonna look real fake. So I always like to take a little comb or clip or something and kind of hold that hair back and spray it very lightly as well with the root spray. All right. And then again, always, 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 just to avoid that weird hairspray feeling, brush through that really well. Right. Okay, I think we are good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this wig on and show her to you guys now that she is rooted. All right, so this is her. I am obsessed with her. And actually for her being a hard front, I am going to go ahead and fix her up. And I do have a video on how to do that. I'll put it here for you guys, but I'm gonna fix her up because it just is lifting more than I want her to. But the way that they did the curl and stuff on her, it actually hides it pretty well. I would maybe wear this out. And especially with the root, I definitely think she looks more natural and pretty. I love her color and her length. Ah, obsessed. So this is, like I said, a little bit more of a natural rooting. The biggest tip I have is to really hold it really nice and far away, that 6 inches, and pull back even further if you feel like you're too close, because you can always come in a little bit once you gauge what you're doing. A lot of times the biggest reason why you have too much of a root is because you're just a little too heavy-handed. You can also take a piece of paper and kind of practice a little bit if you need to, if you've never sprayed with something like this, because it does have this little tiny trigger pointer tip thing, but it's not giving you directional help at all. So hand-eye coordination is very important when you're doing this. But other than that, it's really, really easy. The only other thing that you can do, which I actually thought I might need to do, but I don't, it actually blended really nicely, is you can take some concealer with your little makeup brush here, and you can go back in and retouch up your part if you feel like you've kind of lost the lighter lace or whatever you have there to kind of define that part. You can always just put some concealer there. I have a video on that too, on how to kind of like more to hide knots, define parts, things like that, but you can do that if you need to, but it wasn't needed for this one. So this was just a really quick, easy tutorial for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.